last in the league in rushing. Montgomery had taken the snap. Trubisky launching it. The snapper.
Cooking your restaurants?
Yes, I did.
And do they do the same there?
They rush four. Heineke still is flush. He's pressured. He's got a fling.
Tannehill.
If you guys still have ears and can hear me, hello, and welcome to another episode of Quincy Bell Sports. There are only 7 NFL games left, and 4 of them will be over this weekend. This is the divisional round of the playoffs. Congrats to all 6 wildcard weekend winners for the 6 teams whose season came to an end. Tough, better luck next year. So, let's go over our 4 divisional games. We have the Rams and the Packers, the Buccaneers and Saints, the Chiefs and the Browns, and the Ravens and the Bills. We'll start with the Packers and the Rams. This is a very interesting game. The league's number 1 offense against the league's number 1 defense. The number 1 defensive back against the number 1 wide receiver. It's going to be a very interesting matchup, but we'll see who can come out on top. Things that Green Bay has working for them: home field advantage and their stellar offense. What the Rams have working for them: coming off momentum after a great win against Seattle, and their defense. Now, everyone likes to say the saying defense wins championships, and I agree with that. I definitely think defense is what gets you through in the playoffs. Here's my problem with the Rams. You need to have some sort of an offense. Jared Goff, he played well against the Seahawks. Bad secondary, very bad secondary they have. I just think that the Packers defense is going to be really underrated. They're really underrated. Jair Alexander, Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, Adrian Amos, Kevin King. They have a lot of really good players on their defense. And here's the thing, okay? The Packers are going to score points. The Rams have a great defense. They'll hold them as much as they can. The Packers are going to end up scoring some points. I just don't see the Rams offense being able to keep up. I just don't see how Goff and company can keep up in the cold. There was a stat like Jared Goff is like 0-5 in cold weather games or something like that. I don't know what constitutes a cold weather game, but I saw a stat like that, and I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up. I think the Rams will hang in this one for a while. I think this could be a game that's like 14-10 going into the 4th, and the Packers just end up pulling away. The Rams offense is going to have to put together some drives and not go 3 and out every drive, because or else their defense is going to be on the field. I think that's going to eventually what ends up getting the Packers this win. I'll go with a score prediction of 24-10. All right, our next game is the Buccaneers and the Saints. Now, both of these teams struggled with the worst teams to ever make the playoffs. The amount of people that I've heard say that the Bears did not belong in the playoffs. Who are you going to put in the playoffs? The Cardinals? The Giants? Stop it. Like, oh, the Bears don't deserve to be in the playoffs. Woo. Well, who does? The football team doesn't deserve to be in the playoffs. Woo. Then who does? And the Bears and football team both, they played their best, right? They did all they could against the Bucs and Saints, but ultimately the Bucs and Saints did end up pulling away. And now they're going to play each other. Now, through both regular season matchups, the first one was Brady's first game as a Buc. I'm not going to take much away from that game. That was 4 months ago. First game with a new system. I'm not going to take much from that game. Also, they didn't look that bad. Second game, the definition of a skull dragging. the dictionary definition of a skull dragging. It was 31-0 at half. And that's some cause for concern. I mean, they just absolutely lit them up. This is close. Both these teams are very evenly matched. I don't know. The Saints defense impressed me against the Bears. Not any defense could look good against the Bears. I'm just going to get that out of the way. Any defense can look good. But they looked really, really good. You're not going to be able to do that against Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a clutch performer, and he always gets it done in the playoff. Drew Brees, I don't know. But Tom Brady teams always seem to get it done in the playoffs, and I don't know how I can trust the Saints. I mean, the Bears defense absolutely shut them down for pretty much the entire game. They got some points in the fourth quarter because they were on the field the entire game. The Bears defense was on the field the entire game. That's why they eventually started to score some points. Brady and company, they're going to put some drives together, and that won't be the case for the Saints. And that's why I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win this game. I think they're going to walk into the Superdome. They're going to put some drives together. They're going to hold their own on defense, and they come away with a close win because Brady is made for these moments, and he's going to deliver. I'm going to say with a final score of 31-28, game-winning field goal. All right, next game. This is a very intriguing one, a very, very intriguing one. The Browns and the Chiefs. Someone was talking, they're like, hey, if a Viking can become Speaker of the House, then maybe Cleveland can win a playoff game. Speaking of skull dragging, nice game, Corvette. Jeez, what an absolute embarrassment from the TikTokers. Holy cow, they just got absolutely ran off the field. 28-0 in the first quarter. Oh my goodness, never got off the bus. 28-0 in a quarter where the Browns didn't start with the ball. That's just absolutely pathetic. Pouncey snaps it over Big Ben's head, and it was downhill from there. They made an effort to come back in that game, but it was over once the first quarter was done. The Browns absolutely rolled in that game. They were forcing quite a bit of turnovers with Ben Roethlisberger. Not going to be able to do that against Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a million times better than Ben Roethlisberger at this stage in their career. Now, I want you to flash back to, I think, almost exactly a year ago today. Almost exactly a year ago today. When the Chiefs were in the divisional round at home at Arrowhead facing the Houston Texans. A team hot off of a wild card win. And the Houston Texans were up 24-0 against the Chiefs early in the second quarter. Went right down the field, scored, blocked a punt for a touchdown, muffed punt by Tyreek Hill, went down and scored. And that was just remarkable, but the Chiefs eventually ended up fighting back, and they ended up coming back to win this game. We've seen this from the Browns before. Started off, super hot against Dallas, where they up like 35-14. Barely won that game. Dallas almost came back and won. Against Tennessee, up by a ton. Early in the game, they're up like 42-7. Titans come roaring back. They almost come back and win. I've seen this routine. They're up 28-0 against the Steelers. Steelers almost crawl back and win. Here's what's going to happen. Here's how this game's going to go. The Browns are going to come out like a house of fire. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run it down Kansas City's throat with Chubb and Hunt. Also, this game means a lot for Kareem Hunt. He got cut by the Chiefs, remember? So he was on his Instagram Live, playing the Corvette. But he was talking about how this game's personal for him. He's going to come out and have himself a big day. The Browns are going to absolutely run over the Chiefs in the first quarter. Let's say 21-0. They're up after the first quarter. And then the Chiefs wake up, and they put a stomping on them. It's going to be just like the Texans game. Because we've seen this from the Browns a lot this season. They'll start off super hot, and then they just kind of crumble at the end. But they got away with it against the Cowboys. They got away with it against the Titans. They got away with it against the Steelers. You're going to have to play a full game against the Chiefs. And the Chiefs are going to eventually come back and win. I'm going to say my final score prediction is going to be 42-31. Chiefs win. And the last game is, what's the last game? Bills-Ravens, featuring my two favorite players in the NFL, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Now, there's a big key to this game for Buffalo to win this game. The way Buffalo's going to have to win this game is they're going to have to keep their offense firing on all cylinders, which they did perfectly fine against the Colts, who have a very good defense. The Ravens also have a very good defense, but they're about on par with each other. They're going to have to keep firing on all cylinders. You got to contain Lamar Jackson in the run game. Lamar Jackson did not have a great game passing the football. What was he? I think he was 10 of 12 for 150-something yards. He ran for 130 and had a touchdown. He was a maniac in the running game. They were going a lot of read options, getting him outside, QB draws. It was just that he was running all over the place. And you're going to have to contain him. And it's going to be hard. I don't know if Buffalo's going to be able to do it. This is going to be a great back-and-forth game. I love to see my two favorite players in the NFL go against each other. That is going to be absolutely a treat to watch. Now, what I think is going to get the Bills this win is I think that their offense is a lot more consistent than the Ravens. The Ravens will have drives where they go 3 and out, and then they're just driving down the field. Buffalo, they usually get some consistent drives going. They don't go 3 and out that much. They are definitely a more consistent offense. They can consistently get down the field. And I just think their overall offense is better. I don't know. Marcus Peters against Stephon Diggs. I don't know how I like that if I'm a Ravens fan. I don't know how much I like that. I mean, I like Marcus Peters. There was a stretch when he was on the Rams where he would get burnt every play. And I was like, oh, come on, Marcus Peters. I was on him every game, but I love Marcus Peters. Yeah, I don't think he's going to have a great time against Diggs because A.J. Brown, that man was running for a run. Now, A.J. Brown's an animal. So is Stephon Diggs. I think that they're just going to throw to Diggs a lot, and I just don't see how Baltimore's going to keep up. I like the Bills at home 28-21. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you agree with my picks or disagree, and I'll see you next time.